What's going on, guys? It has been far too long since I've had an update on the Rambler, and that's because I don't really have an update on the Rambler. I've been sick here and there, and I haven't been really working on it. No, I don't have corona. I had like influenza B or something, so let's not go there. Let's take a look at what we have done. Today I'm going to be working on the Rambler. I'm going to be out in the garage. I'm going to be trying to clean. I'm going to be trying to get this stuff done, and since I haven't gotten you guys a video in a while, we're going to publish and post whatever I get done today. So let's take a look at the car. Here it is. Big party. If we go in the engine bay, hopefully we can see without a light. I've gotten a few things done since I saw you guys last. First things first is the brake booster vacuum line. I had just like a straight on nipple here. I went and got a 90 degree because it wasn't clearing the throttle return here. So it was just kind of coming over and right into there. Nothing big, but looks a little cleaner, and it'll work. So I also put the throttle return on there, as you can see, and then I have our fuel pressure gauge there. That's an Earl's oil-filled fuel pressure gauge that's recommended for this setup. The setup runs about 59.5 psi, so right around 60. So I'll be able to potentially troubleshoot if we run into fuel pump issues or anything like that. If we take a look down there too, we took the fuel pump out and put a block-off plate in there. If you're looking for a Gen 1 AMC block-off plate, the big block Chevy ones will do just fine. So that's that. So yeah, tons of progress. Not really, but it is a little bit of progress. We're getting closer to things. What do we have going on today? Today, a couple things that I want to try and work on. We'll see how far we get. First things first is our fuel pump here. So it's just an inline fuel pump that Holley sends out with their master kits. So that's what we're going to use. As you can see, it has a pre-filter and a post-filter. So actually, I ordered this and it didn't come with any isolators, so I'm going to run to the store here shortly and get those, just so we don't have a loud fuel pump. Some people complain about that. Also, what I have here is the fuel filler neck. When I first put one on there, I couldn't find one. It's got a 45 degree bend in it. The one I have on there is just a straight on one, so it's got a little kink in it. It still works, but it's not perfect. So we're going to use this, and then we're going to take our Moroso, this little return line thing. It's kind of neat. Basically what this does is it'll go somewhere in the fuel filler neck, and it just allows you to put in a return line without tapping into the fuel tank. So you run your 3/8 line to that, and as you can see, it just has a turn down in there, and it just drops fuel in. So that is made by Moroso, and there is a part number if anyone's interested, 65385. They also include some hose in there and the clamps you need. So it's a real nice piece. It's probably more than I needed to pay for it. You could probably come up with something else for a little bit cheaper, but it works pretty well. One other thing I got here is some touch up. So in the engine bay, this is what I use for paint for the engine bay. Initially, I did paint it outside, so one side of the engine bay is a little light. We're going to touch that up. I think that's kind of it. I do want to grease some of the suspension. I got a grease gun, but I don't know if you can tell I'm having trouble getting air out of the system because these things are terrible. But yeah, that's kind of that. We're going to head to the store. We're going to grab some things, and then we're going to come back and get to work on this thing. All right, guys, so it's a few hours later. We're back from the store with all this coronavirus stuff going on. It was a little hectic, but we're back. We made it. I forgot one other thing I did. I did get the throttle rod, or throttle linkage in place. So there's a lot kind of going on in there, but as you can see, it goes all the way back. It's going to need some adjustment to work 100% properly, but it's a start. One other thing we need to do in there is we're going to need to put in the TV cable for the transmission in these motors or these transmissions. It does require it because there is no like pressure modulator or anything. It's pressure based on throttle position. So we'll figure that out. We'll get going with that. If we move over here, I did go to the old Farm Fleets. I got some shop towels because I'm up. I also picked up, I just got a hose and some clamps to use as an isolator. I don't even know what this is for. I just saw it and it was the right size. So we're going to use that as an isolator for the fuel pump. We'll put it on the filters as well. It's a little small for this one, but we'll just put a slit in it and cover about 90% of it. That'll help any vibration and any noise that we might encounter. Alright guys, so I actually just I created an isolator, and then I just kind of bench tested the filter, or the pump, and it's really not all that loud, so I don't think I'm going to put an isolator on there because the clamps they include are not big enough for an isolator. So we're going to mount this up in here and see how everything fits. Let's take a look at how everything looks right now. Alright, so kind of hard to see up in here, but we do have a hard fuel line that goes from here all the way back, and then you can kind of see fuel line curves up there and is going down. Sorry, it's kind of hard to tell, but it's going down into the tank back there via a soft line. So I'm going to replace all of this. I'm going to take all the factory hard line out. I'm going to replace that soft line as well. I'm going to try and use the factory mounting spots so I don't have to drill any extra holes. Hopefully I can reuse those screws. If not, I have extras. And yeah, we're going to try and make this work. I might try and mount it on the frame rail here, just because then it will be hidden. Yeah, so let's see what we can do. We'll start making holes and seeing where we can mount things. Alright guys, so there is a fuel pump, pre-filter, post-filter on the inside of the frame rail. Back up a little bit. So you can see that under here obviously, but you can't see it from outside the car, and I'm hoping that that will deaden down the sound a little bit. I do need some more, I just need some more stuff to get this done, but I do have this mounted on the frame. I am going to run the rubber line. See if we'll focus. I'm going to run the rubber line in a similar factory position. I am going to take this and mount the line directly on the frame rail there, which will kind of keep this guy in place. And then I'm going to follow it up to where it factory mounts here. So that was where the hard line was, and then we'll bring it to that factory mount as well. And then we're going to follow back in where that factory hose is, and we'll finish up back there on the tank. So we don't have a whole lot more to get done down here. I do have to more securely mount the line down there, but as you can see I have it all the way up to the throttle body. So we do have an inlet line almost done. I'm going to run the return line. You can see I actually cut those with just like a snips. So what I'm going to do is cut those a little nicer once they're out of the car, the factory lines. And then we can, we'll be able to reuse them, just merge them with the rubber hose if we want, because they only run about 7 psi. So we'll be able to do that. But we're going to run the return line needed. We're going to just kind of double these off. So we'll have the factory line on this side, or the return line on this side. Bring that all the way through, past the fuel pump, again up and over, but we're going to follow, I think what we're going to do, I'm not 100% sure yet, but we might follow that line there where the hole is. We might just follow it across and go find the fuel neck hose. So, and then we'll tap into that. All right, so not a bunch of updates, but that is an update nonetheless. I owed you guys one. Let's since we're up here, just go check out. We do have that inlet line run, and then it goes down the firewall to where you guys saw it on there. So we did make a little progress. The big thing I want to do is get the fuel pump mounted, and then I got the factory line out of there. So I did get what I wanted to get done, but we have a lot more to do. So I really owed you guys an update though. So this is considered an update video with a little bit of progress in it. And we'll continue to do these updates. I wanted to have the car running by this weekend, but things just aren't going to pan out that way. So I'm going to set next weekend is my goal date to have the EFI working and running in this car. We'll see how it works. The car won't be on the road because of the weather, and also just because I need to go through that front suspension, so we'll take a look at that. I am waiting until it's a little nicer out so I can get this thing out of the garage in case something goes wrong here. But yeah, I just got to remove that coil, put in the strut rods, put in new shocks, and put in a new coil. And those of you that haven't seen yet, we do have these coils over here. Please excuse the mess. These are going to be an inch drop in the front, and then it's going to be a 1/2 inch drop in the rear. I still have to order the rears, but we'll have a little bit of a kind of a muscle body raked stance. So that's also going to help with that fuel pump where that's at. The fuel pump is towards the bottom of the fuel tank, and it needs to be towards the bottom because it is gravity fed. It won't pull as well as it will push. So yeah, that'll help with that a little bit. So yeah, that's kind of it, guys. We'll have a video here again shortly. I want to finish up getting these fuel lines run. Like I said, I need more parts, so I have a little list that I'm going to go get right now. I might return working on this today, but that'll be in the next video for you guys. So if you guys like what you see, of course, please hit that like button. Comment below. I like talking with you guys, and if you want to see more, be sure to subscribe. Thanks, guys.